Hello, this is Alison Van Diggelen with Fresh Dialogues. I'm at the Fontainebleau Clean Tech Conference in January 2010, and I'll be interviewing Laurie Yoler. Thank you so much for joining me today on Fresh Dialogues. Let's talk about the really big picture, the government sector. Talk about the State of the Union. Was that a good thing in general? Was that something that a lot of VCs will be saying, yes, he's talking about green energy, he's talking about nuclear. Is that, what was your reaction to it?
The government can be a huge customer for many of these technologies, and I think one of the things that we saw last year, for example, is in the advanced transportation, advanced vehicle sector, the DOE stepped in where the VCs stepped out. So, one of the things that I saw in the Wall Street Journal recently was the DOE provided $8.5 billion in funding in advanced vehicle technologies last year. The entire venture industry only invested $670 million. So more than 10x government jumping in saying, no, we want to incent advanced vehicles, more fuel-efficient vehicles, so we're going to jump in.
Right.
So there, rather than what our president said on that night, I look at, okay, what's actually taking place? Right. What are the changes that I'm seeing?
Right, but beyond just being a consumer and helping the demand side for the legislative side.
Yes.
What are your predictions for that this year?
It's been tough getting some very big things through the system, as we've seen. So I think there is continued interest, but I'm not sure that we're going to see the regulation happen as fast as many would like. But certainly at the state level, 29 states have renewable energy standards that they have set. There's 6 more that are in process. So I think it's more happening at the state level. I think the interesting thing is the standards that are set at the federal level, if they come afterwards, there's some issue with them conflicting with what states have already done and what they've already been able to accomplish. So I think we have to be very careful at the federal level. But I think certainly President Obama, as a president, has embraced sustainability, throughout his tenure. So,
do you think he could do more?
Oh, that's a tough question. Again, I think the states have really taken the lead. So I think, if you put something forward, it would likely conflict, and you're already seeing it. The reason it's taking so long is because he wants to embrace things that have already happened at the grassroots level instead of mandating across the board. So I think that's tough. But I think he does have to step forward, and the longer he waits to put in federal goals, the states are going to be further and further along, and it's going to be even messier to sort out. So I think it has to continue to be a priority, but so far it seems to be, from everything, certainly that I'm hearing.
All right. And looking at the general economy, what are venture capitalists looking for? What are the key indicators? Are you obsessing about the jobs market, like a lot of economists are, or what are your key statistics that you're looking at that will tell you, okay, we've turned a corner here? Is it the IPO market, the M&A market?
Yes, and the funding market. So will venture capitalists be able to raise new funds so that they can fund more companies? Will they move more of their percentage of their allocation to sustainable technologies and not on more traditional IT and life science? So far we're seeing an increased interest, certainly in just the VCs I've talked to in the last couple of months, in sustainability, technology, and biotech, and less focus on IT from many of the ones that I've talked to. But again, they are only successful if they have successful exits. So we have to see the big companies coming in and acquiring these earlier stage companies, and we have to see the IPO market supporting them.
Right. And can you talk about any particular companies that you're backing?
We're an investment bank, so we support a large portfolio of companies across the spectrum. One that I've personally been involved in now for a long time is Tesla Motors, and we've seen the continued momentum and success of that company, and so that makes I get giddy every time I see a Tesla on the road. So
that's great. Do you have one yourself yet?
I do not. But
and what are your predictions for Tesla this year? What might we see from Tesla?
Oof, that would be tough for me to say. You would have to ask ask some of the folks that are there on a daily basis. But again, I think we have seen all the large auto manufacturers now make a commitment to both electric vehicles and flex fuel vehicles and hybrid technologies and battery technologies. So I think if we look across the automotive ecosystem, we see that there's just sustained momentum. So I would hope that Tesla would benefit from that, being one of the pioneers.
Great. Well, Laurie Yoler, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For being on Fresh Dialogues.
All right.